Big story breaking today. The documents have been leaked as some of the big clubs in Europe have come together to put forward a proposed Super League. Here's how it will work. According to them, you see the teams all there, all the big clubs, they will always be in the Super League. They will be permanent members of it. Then the ones highlighted in green, Inter, Roma, Atletico, Dortmund and Marseille, will be guests, which will change throughout the season with regard to relegation. Julien Laurens is with us. Jules, there's been talk about this Super League for a very long time. Does this suggest we're one step closer to seeing it happen? 2021, isn't it, the year in which it suggested it may happen?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's getting closer. It was always going to be, I think, a question of time more than of when more than if you want, for the creation of something like that. I mean, the idea that they could have something similar to what you have in the US in terms of American sport with those private leagues, there's no relegation. It's something that obviously is very appealing to a lot of top clubs in Europe, with the idea of you can have that Super League where every time you play another top club, which means huge revenues, sell out stadiums all the time, everywhere you go. It's a very attractive idea for those clubs. You can see that, it's quite clear. I think it's a different ball game to try to put it together because you're going to face leagues and federations and UEFA as well. So I think there's still a long way to go. You could see that they're progressing the more they talk about it.
So, Jules, will this take the place of the Champions League and they would still be in the domestic league? Is that the thought?
I cannot believe that you could take Bayern Munich out of the Bundesliga, or you could take the four best clubs in England and taking them out of the Premier League. So I think he would replace the Champions League, or they would find some sort of agreement with the domestic leagues to work out schedules together or fixtures together, because I can't see otherwise the Premier League and the other leagues would die. If you take out City, United, Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal, there's no more Premier League left. Who's going to watch the Premier League without those clubs? So I just can't see it happening, and I think they would have to find a way to incorporate that new Super League among the domestic fixtures. But again, it's something that very much up in the air.
What do you think, Greg?
Seems like another, I wouldn't say thinly veiled, but another potential attack on UEFA and on the finances.
Do you like this idea? Does it work for you as a replacement for the Champions League?
Not at the moment, no. Not at the moment. I just worry that these clubs are getting just too greedy for their own good. I really do. And where's the end game? Just where is the end game? Because the question you just asked Jules about the domestic leagues, that might not be at the moment, but is the end game to do that down the line? And that'll just kill all the smaller clubs.
For me, this is a first step towards the end game being these 16 clubs in total control of their own destinies. This is not in my opinion, the end game is not a replacement for the Champions League. This is the league itself. So it doesn't have to go to FIFA. It doesn't have to go to UEFA for authorization to, as an example, play one game in the US or in Qatar or in China or wherever it may be.
It can do as it wants.
It can do exactly as it wants. Doesn't have to ask anybody for permission, and they rake in all the revenues that come with being a Super League and being this major global brand. And this is why I have always been resistant to any kind of idea of going outside the established leagues, because it's just one step further in these clubs taking over the club game for their own benefit.
And then it can further weaken domestic leagues, because it gets itself down the line in years in a position where it's making all these decisions, and then it can go and say to X, Y and Z league and start cherry picking and say, oh, would you like to come and join us from that little league you're playing in, because you're doing quite well now and you've got a good support and blah blah, you can bring this to the table, so we'll go and weaken that league even more by inviting even more clubs in.
And they'll do what the politicians do. They'll sell it that they're actually helping the smaller clubs by them going beside them and helping them. And of course, at the end of it, it's got nothing to do with helping MD other than themselves.
So there's no argument to say that from a neutral's point of view, you prefer to watch this than the group stages of the Champions League?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that we'd all want to watch, Man City, Man United every week, or Juve, Napoli, or Barcelona, Madrid every week, or whoever it is. We'd all want to watch that most weeks. We sit here sometimes and we roll the fixtures out and we go like, oh goodness me, look at the fixtures. Oh, there's a decent game on Sunday. I get that, right? But we don't live in that kind of world. We should live in a world where there is at least an opportunity and there's an equal. And and Gilles mentioned it, the US system, no promotion, relegation. The European leagues have that. They have something to grasp and cling on to get there, to be in with these big boys. So what's that going to do to the rest if this all comes to fruition? I'm not sure it will, but I kind of think it's a lot of scaremongering at the moment.